Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to this week's edition of the You Unlimited podcast. I'm your host, Christina Deering, and I am so grateful to hold this sacred container and space for us to dig into a topic that I believe will set you free because it has set me free in so many ways where I used to spend endless amounts of energy wanting so badly for everyone to agree with me and wanting so badly to be agreeable, to people please, to do all of these things to really allow myself to fill a void around being liked, about being enough, around being worthy. And the second I started to really heal each of those things, which would mean I was going back into those moments and recognizing, where did I first not feel enough? Where did I first not feel worthy? Where did I first not feel lovable? All of those things. When I let myself actually go back into those moments, heal the energy that was still living within the cells of my body, it allowed me to show up so differently in my life. So, first and foremost, that's going to be an integral part of setting you free is just noticing where are things holding you back. But secondly, the thing we're really digging into today is around how to take the pressure off of whether or not anyone agrees with you or not. Because I think for so much of our life, we were kind of I was, at least I grew up thinking, I need to be agreeable. I need people to like me. I need all these things, like I just mentioned. And the second I started to realize I was kind of living someone else's life by doing that, it was such an eye-opening moment where it was like, man, if I'm just agreeing with everyone, first of all, I don't remember what I agreed with before, so this is just a lot of effort. I have to remember what I said to this person before. And honestly, the thing about that is when you're agreeable, it's actually very, well, we think it's calming for the other person's nervous system. It's actually not, because what's happening is a lot of people are not, they don't know what to expect from you because they know that you're just being agreeable versus having an opinion on something. And so for us, actually, what's one of the most calming things is to know where someone stands, regardless of whether or not we agree with them, right? It's actually very calming for our nervous system when we know what to expect. It's kind of like when we're younger, we know what to expect from our parents, right? When they say the thing, they mean that thing. So now I know in my body, mom and dad are going to show up in that way. Makes sense. My nervous system feels calm because I know the expectation, right? Versus sometimes mom lets me do it, sometimes she doesn't. That actually makes me feel a little wobbly in my nervous system when I'm a child, and that translates into adulthood. So when we're surrounded by people that are kind of doing something similar, it can actually be very, very off-putting and jarring for our nervous system. So we think we're doing them like a service by being agreeable, when really we're not. They're like, what does she stand for? What does he stand for? I don't know him or her like I could. And so it's really important to start to really tune in and say, what do I actually believe, first and foremost? Meaning, what feels best in my body in this moment in time? And I always say, our truth is our truth in the moment, and it can shift at any moment, right? We all know that because we've believed certain things, and then a life altering thing happens. And then all of a sudden, our truth is different, right? It's like we thought it would be something. And then all of a sudden, it's so different than what we thought it would be altogether. One of the biggest examples of this is being a parent, where it's like I thought parenting would be one thing, and then I became a parent and I was like, oh, I understand all my parent friends now. Like I was really out of touch with reality. Like I really had no idea what they were going through, what their day-to-day potentially looked like, and the energy it took to really show up as a parent and to do all the things. And so that was one of those things where it was like immediately allowed me to kind of shift my perspective, right? Or you've had a spiritual awakening, or you've lost someone and you're through that grieving process, all of a sudden you're, let's say, aligned with a medium. And now this person and we'll go into that a little bit further, but now all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I can speak to the spiritual realm through a medium. Like I didn't even think that was a possibility. But because you love that person so deeply, you're like, I'm open to try it, right? Like, I want to speak to them again. To have one more conversation would mean the world to me. So someone who might have been very closed off to potentially talking to a medium and connecting with their loved one, all of a sudden it becomes a massive priority and they want to lean in, they want to learn or connect with that person that's now on the other side. So again, things can shift in an instant, but it's about really tuning into what is our current truth. And I'm going to share a quick caveat around working with psychics and mediums. I 10 out of 10 recommend only go to someone you like, know, or trust has been to and had a really powerful, beautiful, soul aligned experience with. It's so important that we only go to people that are tuned in, tapped in, that work only with beautiful, high vibrational, loving energy. And because it's important, especially when we're grieving, to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with people that have our best interest in mind. So, anytime I'm looking to find, let's say, a new psychic or a new medium, I'm asking my inner circle, who are your favorite people? And then I tune into my intuition and say, which of these people feel right? You know what I mean? And do I like, know, and trust the person that I asked? Of course, I would only ask the people I like, know, and trust. But those are the type of things that allow me to really tune in and say, I'm tuning into a channel that is actually here for my highest good. Right. And so again, really important for us to tune into our intuition, really important for us to start to tune into what is my truth. And again, it can shift in an instant, but in this moment in time, what has me feel expansive? What has me want to lean in? What has me feel most joyful? And follow that because there's an element to divine timing as well. So, something that might be so soul aligned and so much so in our deepest level of truth today might be a little bit different tomorrow, right? Or might not be our truth a year from today. So, that's why it's so powerful when we get these intuitive pings or these feelings to lean into them in real time because they're actually creating a shift in the exact time that we're meant to lean into these things. So, again, know that your truth can change at any moment, but it's really important to start to tune into what is my truth? What feels expansive in my body? What feels joyful? What allows me to really tune in and feel amazing? And the beautiful part about that is there are an infinite amount of truths available to us in any given moment. So, how powerful is that to be able to take the pressure off of saying every person has to agree with me for this to be okay, or every person has to agree with me for me to feel okay with it, right? Or for them to be okay with me. Instead, taking that pressure off of saying, hey, I get it. My truth could have been different yesterday. Giving people the opportunity to follow what feels most in alignment with them. It's like religions. You know what I mean? Like it really is like religions. It's like follow what feels best in your body, whether it's spirituality, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Judaism, whether it's something else completely, whether we're talking about Kabbalah, whatever it is that lights you up, whether it's a mixture of all of the above or none of the above, none of it is right or wrong. It's all about what feels best in your body in this moment and follow that. That is the thing that's going to allow you to really set yourself free because none of it is right or wrong. It's about what works for you to be able to live your most soul aligned life. All of these things are channeled and created through humans, right? And so who's to say it's one way or the other way? It's what way works for you, what way feels best in your body. The same can be said about business, right? A million people could be building the exact same thing. How did you come here to uniquely build that thing, right? Start to tune into your energy. How do you desire to show up and serve? What would allow you to uniquely best show up for your clients or to hand off this or lead the team or to be completely hands off and let it be all automated, right? That will again evolve with time. The way that you start your business will be very different than potentially a year from there, 5 years from there, 10 years from there, because you're going to be getting different intuitive pings on how to expand the business, how to lean in a way that feels most soul aligned. It will shift as you shift, as your priorities shift, right? So you might start your business thinking, I just want to do one-on-one coaching. And then at some point you have children and you're like, wow, I realize that my time, I really want to optimize my time. Maybe I do more group coaching. Maybe I do more systems in place, like automation in place, where I could be selling digital courses, where I build it once and then I continue to sell it. What does that look like? What are the funnels that I'm setting up that allow for that to expand? And so that's the beauty of, again, there's infinite possibilities, but for someone who's just starting in business, maybe they're not ready for the funnels yet and all of that stuff and the lead generation and the automation and all of those things. Maybe that feels completely overwhelming. So again, knowing that your truth can always shift at any given moment and giving yourself that opportunity to begin to lean in and expand at any given moment based on the way that you are feeling. Because that truly, our body and our energy is a compass on how we're most meant to build an alignment right now in this divine time. So follow that. It's so, so, so powerful. And take the pressure off of other people needing to get it. I believe the best coaches and mentors are the ones that are like, tune into your intuition. Let me teach you how to do that. Let me help you heal what's in the way. Let me share with you what I did so you've got some ideas, but simultaneously, it's not about me. Your business should not be about your coach and your mentor. It should be about you and what you most desire and how to build. Now, it's powerful, of course, to lean into a mentor that has what you want. That's plugging into the energy of a source that has done it the way that you desire to do it, or in a similar way that you desire to do it, and has achieved what you've achieved. So again, I always say, if you're going to hire a coach or a mentor, ask yourself several questions. One of which is, have they achieved what I desire to achieve, and have they done it in the way that I desire to achieve it? So, do they have spaciousness? Do they lean into self care? Are they grinding every single day? Are they a certain personality type that you find really motivates you? Right? Or is there a certain personality types that you feel like it really takes the wind out of your sail, but they just wind out of the sails, but they just happen to have what you want? These are all really important considerations when you're plugging into someone's energy, right? It's like hiring a personal trainer. It's not a one size fits all. Some people are like, yeah, I want the person that's going to kick my ass, right? And other people are like, I want you to be a little bit more gentle, because when you're screaming at me, like an inch away from my face, I kind of feel less motivated, you know? Yeah, so it's really important to tune in and say, how do I feel most motivated? And let me allow myself to be surrounded by the people that motivate me in that way and are open to me doing it my way and are guiding me into tuning into how to do it my way. So, so, so important. Ah, it's so amazing. And I love to, when we start to just get really in tune with what we feel, what's most in alignment with ourselves, and we get really unapologetic about our truth. And when I say unapologetic, I simply mean, if you're going to be sharing your truth, which I believe we should all be sharing our truths, whether it's just being the living embodiment of it, it's one of the best ways to live out your truth without having to shove it down people's throats. It's just be who you are. And say F the rest, right? Like, just be you and everything will fall into alignment with so much ease. But I always say, if you're going to be sharing your truth, do it with love and kindness, right? Because there's an infinite amount of truths out there. It's not about convincing someone to come to the other side or convincing someone to do something. Allow them to be in their truth. It takes so much pressure off when we allow people to be in their truth. And then we just simply share our truth with love and kindness, no matter what. That's just what I live by. I'm the embodiment of, and I simultaneously am like, if I'm going to take the time to share what feels true for me in my body because it feels relevant in this moment in time, and I'm not trying to convince anyone, I'm just going to share it with love and kindness. I'm just going to share what feels true for me. And people don't have to agree with me, but if they're going to be in my life, in my inner circle, they have to respect me. And that was something that I created a big boundary around in my early 30s, was around, you don't have to agree with me, but you have to respect me, right? So even if you don't understand it, if you want to be in my inner circle, if you want to play with me and my energy and it feels aligned with me too, you have to respect me, and vice versa. I'm not going to agree with every single thing that you say, but I'm going to love you regardless, no matter what. And so that's the power of really tuning in and giving everyone the spaciousness to have their own truth. Now, something that I think is really powerful too is I started to really take the pressure off of, yes, trying to convince people of certain things. And when I felt that something or someone was just deeply out of alignment, Instead of taking the time to say, I need to be seen, I need to be heard, you need to understand me, sometimes the most powerful thing that I've done is to just simply unengage. Is to just simply say, this is no longer in alignment. I don't have to over explain. I can just continue on living my life, love on them anyways, typically from a distance if there's something that felt very damaging about a relationship before, and continue on with my life, move on, right? Because sometimes people or experiences fall out of alignment, and that gets to be okay, but it's not about forcing someone back into alignment or things of that nature. It's about noticing and just saying, I can send you love and kindness, but I don't have to engage with what I'm currently being given or things that are being thrown at me. If I'm allowing them to stick, then that's on me, right? But I don't have to take or have whatever someone's throwing at me take up space. I can just simply say, slough it off. That's not mine. I send you love and kindness, but I'm complete, right? So I hope that you received something really beautiful today. If you were guided into this episode, I guarantee there's things that are happening in your relationships that are asking you, whether it's the internal relationship or relationships all around you, that are asking you to get even more in tune with your truth. Allow yourself the spaciousness to live out that truth, to be embodied in that truth, and to give yourself that grace and other people that grace to have there be an infinite amount of truths and to really allow yourself to take all the pressure off of needing to convince anyone or do anything of that nature. So I hope that you received something really beautiful from today's episode. I am sending you so much light and love, and until next time.